Season 3, what can we expect coming up? Can you give us any little teasers?
Our main character, Gary, is going to give birth to the Antichrist. We have a episode where a consultant is brought in to help people do more creative forms of torture to their victims. Longtime tortured victim Eddie Pepitone is potentially going to get promoted to a demon. Yeah.
And we have a new demon named Troy, played by Dana Snyder. He's got a big role in this upcoming season.
He did Master Shake and is grading on Squidbillies.
So is it pretty much like a guaranteed that whenever you do a project, Dana's eventually just going to be in it?
Eventually, yes, because otherwise I get a lot of phone calls, late night, drunken phone calls that are begging, pleading, crying, and then threatening. So it's just easier.
And he has a kid now.
Just all in that order, or does it like rotate?
It rotates. It's all. He's all over the map.
I gotta feed my child. How am I feeding my child?
I've gotten to the point where we try not to do any press in Los Angeles where he lives, because he'll find out that I'm doing a show, and they'll start badgering me. So.
Did you ever expect that you were going to end up with 3 seasons for this, or?
No, we were thinking 12. Certainly. I mean, we're like, why are we even debating not doing more?
Yeah, if we live long enough, I think we're gunning to beat The Simpsons, aren't we?
That's right. Hopefully we will eventually beat The Simpsons.
Like hell, it goes on forever.
Yes, like hell.
Yeah, but I think Chris and I both had a lot of faith in this show and the cast and the people that work on it, the effects and the makeup, and our crew. Everybody's so great, and we feel like it works, and it's just a perfect kind of Adult Swim show, at least from my perspective. And we're both sort of Adult Swim.
Define what the Adult Swim humor is.
I think between the two of us, we certainly have, we've been there since the beginning, and we kind of. So I think it's shaped our aesthetic, and our aesthetic has helped shape that to some degree, and so it just feels right for me.
And so many shows are made in Atlanta now. Well, obviously Archer and William Street shows and Stranger Things and Vampire Diaries and so on and so
all
forth.
The Marvel movies.
But I think there's only I could be wrong. I think we're the only live action show that's written out of Atlanta. That the whole thing is done and edited in Atlanta. The effects are done in Atlanta, Georgia. I think we're the only live action show that is all Georgia.
Yeah,
Even
all
the
Georgia
show
all the
Atlanta, you
time.
got that one.
I bet you Donald Glover is probably writing that as he's jet setting all over, playing Han Solo in Lando Calrissian in the new Han Solo movie.
I will say that's a very good show.
It's a very good show, of
Yeah.
course, yeah. But I don't know if he's writing it in Atlanta. But he's from Atlanta, so you got that.
Yeah.
Have you thought about bringing in any main female characters as opposed to?
God, yes, we have. Yes.
We have a couple of local actors that we really want to write episodes for, like specifically for. It's kind of tricky though too. We debated that. It's like Hell. I think Hell would be sort of monastic, I mean, if you think about it, I don't think they let men and women be together in concentration camps.
Yeah,
so it's
I guess,
Yeah.
It felt right to segregate it, but it is something missing. We'd like to have more of. And it's kind of a lost opportunity because there's so many funny women we want to work with. So we're thinking about it.
There is an episode this season though, in the second half of the season, where he brings in some women, but they're sort of classic tropes from
horror women,
like J-horror, like this J-horror woman, and
like
Reagan from The Exorcist, and so the dudes are trying to sexually harass him because they've been trained to, and the women immediately just unleash on him.
So a question I had going back to the kind of humor that Adult Swim now is sort of based around Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Too Many Cooks, all this different kind of stuff that as some people put it, it's what a stoner watches at 3 in the morning. And I'm just kind of curious of, you guys have been there since the beginning, what were your sort of comedic inspirations? What sort of helped that set the foundation for Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell? What creates this kind of weird humor? Is Monty Python? What was it to you?
I mean, Python's certainly there. I mean, Steve Martin was probably my first really big inspiration, like his stand-up. And Lazo, who runs Adult Swim, is certainly like a comedy aficionado, and I think he always pushed us both separately and other writers there to come up with things that are original, things that we haven't seen, away from parody and away from mainstream TV. And I think that's really, in a lot of ways, shaped that aesthetic. It's like if you can't be super funny, then you at least be super weird, at least be something to talk about, and I think that certainly shapes it. And also just fatigue with the rest of television, everything is so, we made things faster and tighter and more different, and I think it shaped it,
With bringing in the Antichrist this season, are we going to see like a child, or how is the Antichrist going to kind of factor into this being born and kind of change the dynamic of the show?
It's part of the world. I don't know if we explored that much further.
It just happened.
We can go back to it though.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll come back to it. Right now, it's just the start of it.
So how does a typical writing meeting for this kind of thing go?
It's much like the four of us right here, except there's two of us. And we're joking around and talking about our day, and then
a
we
guy
start
gets
to
impregnated with the Antichrist.
hone into something. Or we either have written down some ideas or something comes up just talking about our lives.
Yeah, and then you just push it through our filter, and then it comes out. It's an episode sausage. But I should say too, our AP Matt Foster wrote the script for this season too, which was great. It's a fun opportunity for us to sort of mentor him through that process.
You have been working more in live action stuff, but originally, obviously Aqua Teen Hunger Force was a cartoon medium. What do you find some of the challenges are between each of them, and do you prefer one over the other, or do you find both of them, good in both ways?
Chris started in cartoons too, Stroker and Hoop. It was on our air early on, and what are the cartoons you worked on?
I wrote some little Aqua Teen and Squidbillies. Yeah. And I did a Scooby-Doo Blair Witch parody for Cartoon Network back in the day.
I remember that.
Yes. But I love them both. I bet Dave does too. The animation, it's wonderful because you have a lot of opportunities to change things all through the process. With live action, you're more locked in once you've shot, unless you're doing reshoots or something. But it's a lot of excitement. We direct the episodes too, and there's a lot of excitement of just that process that's different than directing a voice record, which is much more casual. You're kind of, there's just a lot of adrenaline because there's a lot of money being spent while you're there trying to work on a scene.
Dave, do you specifically have to sort of think more about motion with your face and stuff like that than if you're just typically voice acting and you're just reading off a script?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part of that.
Well, I'm just kind of curious if you have to sort of focus more on the sort of physical dynamic and emoting with your face more than just reading off a script as you would for a voice actor.
Well, I don't really act much in this. The one time I did act, I was under 40 pounds of makeup and fake hair, so I didn't really have to worry too much. It's a different ball game. Getting back to what Chris said, though, the process is different, but I think the sensibility is the same. I feel like we're making a live action cartoon, and in a way that most live action shows have got sort of quirky back and forth, and that's great. you know, when it's done well. But I mean, we also have moments where a bat can come in and, you know, drop a bomb on somebody's head, you know, and that's still funny to me, so, you know, whether it's animated or not. So.
Awesome.